What is going on, folks? It is race day today. Man, my name is Steve. We are with Race Day as well on YouTube. Huge shout out to you guys for being here, obviously, and supporting the channel. Man, tonight we are in for a treat, and you are too. The ASRA Harpoon Design Cup Series here at the Port of Long Beach. Very, very famous street courts track in California. And normally known for like the IMSA racing and things like that, the multi-class racing. But today, we're going to get some NASCAR next-gen action here today for this. We are winding it down towards the playoffs here pretty soon. 3 races to go, including this one in Long Beach. Man, the first race of our same state showdown for California. Cannot wait to get this thing going. 50 laps in this short street circuit, 2 miles in distance, just under. And man, this is going to be a lot of fun. Right now, in the middle of open qualifying, they get 15 minutes to figure out and get their fastest lap done on track and to get it done. So right now, we're going to go down trackside, take a look at what's going on, see how we are looking. Here we go. A couple of drivers right now are going to be subbing in the field today. We'll get to that in just a second. Actually, right now we're already on one of them, so we'll cover it right now, actually. So James Thurston going to be covering for Kenny Reel in that number 11 machine. There he is right there, already working the laps, trying to get what he can. We have one more sub too, I believe. I just saw him. Jared Kaler actually just took the pole away so far in that 4. Again, subbing in last week at Indy and now again for Long Beach. So doing his thing. There's that infamous fountain. Man, that place is so treacherous. That fountain. Restarts here are going to be insane. Brandon 6. Oh, boy. Had nowhere to go in front of Mealy. And that's the thing about open qualifying, right? Is that you just have to get that good lap, but around everybody else. And that's not always the best thing you can do. Qualifying still about 10 minutes left to go in the session. We'll thank some sponsors in a second. And we'll get to racing in just a little bit, but 50 laps here for this street course. Again, the dripdrops.io Grand Prix of Long Beach. Huge thanks to them. Man, they look good every single time, and looking really good is on the hood of that number 26. There he is, Devin Smecker. Drip drops on the machine today. Looking very, very good. Trying to get a close-up angle. There he is. Looking pretty stout, pretty quick in practice as well, too. So I expect Devin to be, you know, maybe not a contender per se for the win, but definitely, potentially top 5, I would say, based on what I'm seeing so far. So really, really impressive stuff for him and his road course expertise as of late. Jared Kaler on top right now, and Thurston, P2. Woodruff, man, this guy, I'll tell you what, really, really good in the road courses. Doesn't always have the best of luck on the ovals, but man, on these, you know, road courses, street circuits, very, very good. So I expect Woodruff again to have a pretty good day. We're winding it down to the end of the regular season, and we have 3 playoff brackets to learn about pretty soon. The championship, obviously, the contender. Oh, Spinaroonie. That's easy to do right there in that corner. A couple of more guys. Mark Whitley hasn't won yet. A bunch of guys, actually, that we expected to win so far this season have not. Missed the corner there for Mark. But that 77, obviously. Brandon 6, not won yet. We just saw Max Brady, actually, on track, so here he is. Won a couple weeks back. Has locked himself into the playoff hunts. His teammate, Blaze Crawford, has won 2 races. He's not going to be here today again for the Contender Series. Trying to make his way into the Coke Series. Pretty cool stuff, so we wish him luck tonight. I believe I heard he finished 6th last week, so pretty sweet. Both have wins. Both are locked in unless something changes as far as attendance, because there are attendance metrics to adhere to be playoff eligible. But Dylan Bates here, P10 so far. Not too bad. He was pretty quick in Chicago Street a couple of weeks back, about a month ago. So I expect kind of the same for him right now as well, too. Mealy still having an issue here. Man, 7 minutes left to go. Let's take a quick lap around, while we have the time, around Long Beach, featuring our race day Toyota Camry. Let's jump in it real quick. Here we go. So right now, down this long front stretch right here, start-finish line, huge braking zone here into turn 1. Wind it out right here, right at these street lights. Start hitting the brakes real hard. That left-hand turn going to get down to real slow. Nice and easy. But here comes the fountain. This is the treacherous part of the track. There it is. Wrap around it, nice and tight. Really, really tight here. Got to be careful. Get off of that short chute. Kind of an easy 90-degree-ish corner right here. Right side. Another short chute. These bumps right here, you can really go over them quite a bit. Hard braking zone right here. Really, really loose. You can get right there. Hard braking zone again into this next corner. Hard left-hand corner. Exit right here is so loose. Really, really going to be ginger on the throttle, getting back to it. Stick out wide to the outside. And then another hard braking zone here. Crossover right against the fence. And then a long back stretch right here. Again, into another long, long braking zone. Sunset Boulevard right here. 400 mark. Take that right-hand corner. Off we go. This is a tough part. Nice and tight. Couple of short corners here. And then right here, the hairpin. Keep it real nice and tight to the inside. Get back on throttle. And then off you go. And right there, that is one lap around the Long Beach circuit. Man, oh man. Not easy is this track. But man, that right there is always a lot of fun. Did a couple laps myself last night in our official practice. I wouldn't say I'm the fastest, but we recorded that last night, and man, I think I did like a 124. These guys are pulling 121s already, so really, really fast so far today, and I expected nothing less from the All-Stars here of the ASRA. So right now, Brandon Bowie actually snuck onto the pole right here, 121.65, looking pretty quick, about a little under 5 minutes left to go in qualifying. This is tough. The qualifying track position at a road course is so key. And finding yourself in position to get to that point is going to be difficult. So Andrew Phipps right here coming across that fountain. Looking pretty solid so far. Fantastic cameras again today, brought to you by Whiplash Sim Cams. Go and check them out on Facebook, man. These guys are just killer. Awesome camera angles today for this race and throughout the season. So good stuff. Nick Light's right here, going to be right now in 13th. Little slow, looks like off of turn 1, going to be coming out for an out lap to try and get it going again. But bunch of more guys here. Daryl Young in the back. Matthew Fleming, already in the wall. we know how much he's not great at the road courses. Actually, he did finish pretty well at Chicago, I want to say. I think it stuck in the top 10, so pretty good stuff there. Another favorable driver, Frankie Barroso right here, going to be currently in 6th in that race day machine. Has not yet won this season. This is one of those tracks that he can really do that. He can really pull it out. But man, tough competition today. Really in that top 6, I would say top 6 or 7. Going to be a tough battle for a lot of these guys to get this win for sure. Three minutes left to go. Brandon 6. There he goes. Gets that lap right there, 121.75. We saw them in practice sitting around a 121.4, I believe it was, for the fastest that I've seen. So expect to see that at some point for sure. A lot of fast guys. Michael Johnson, man, I'll tell you what, this is the guy. Quiet season. With Blaze being, missing a couple races for the Contender Series, Michael Johnson's going to be the one to take over this regular season points lead. And he has no wins yet, but he has definitely shown the speed. So it's just a matter of when, right? As far as getting that win. Doesn't necessarily need the win. But, man, I'll tell you what, if he wins that overall regular season championship, that's 15 bonus playoff points. And that's equivalent of winning 3 races, right? So that could be key for his hopes and his playoff run. So a lot on the line. Jackson Anderson also coming across here, already in the playoffs as the Daytona 250 winner. Christian Angel has looked good all season long, I will say, but just hasn't, oh, maybe not there, but has looked good all season long, but just can't quite get the finishes that he wants out. You know, if you take a look at his average, you know, running order compared to where he finishes, man, that's just, it's a night and day story. So unfortunate there for him, but things can still change around. Thomas George as well on the Bowie Esports team. Hasn't really found a lot of success his first year in this series, man. He is going to be sliding into that corner. Tough, just overcooked it. Scott Gasorn here as well. Looking good here, this breast cancer awareness. Little pink there for that. Looking good. Uh-oh. Might have scraped some off right there, but looking pretty good nonetheless. Brandon Bowie, though, up front. There he is. Another breast cancer awareness machine. Gremlins cards. Looking good as usual. All throughout October, going to be running this paint scheme as far as the knowledge that I have, but looking very, very good. So qualifying is almost done. They will get about another like 2 minutes after that countdown ends just to finish their lap. So typically if you start your lap before this timer ends, the sim usually gives you another minute, minute and a half, 2 minutes to finish that lap. So we will see. But man, 50 laps ahead of us. 2 stages. Keep that in mind. 2 stages are on the way. Stage 1 ends on lap 8. Stage 2 will end on lap 20. And then the remaining race, stage 3, will be about 27 laps or so. Fuel mileage will have to be about 18 laps if they're really pushing it. So stage 3, definitely expecting them to pit. And again, we're not going to be throwing out yellow flags left and right. So you have to keep that in mind as well. So there's the session. White flag is out right now. And again, they still get that couple of minutes over to finish it off. So and Brendan Bowie going to be on top right now. And 6, Johnson, Kaler, and Thurston, your top 5. Looking pretty good. In just a second, they'll have a warm-up session too for about 5 minutes. They might shorten that up, race control, just because it might not be necessarily needed. But we'll get this race going here in just a minute. Most everyone is done with their laps here. Oh, smacker into the wall hard there. And then Kaler still on track. The only one actually on track here. He's allowed to finish this lap. So is this going to be enough to get the pole here? He's already P4. Can he wrap it up and earn the pole position? Ooh, a little bit of wiggle there off exit. I don't know. Doesn't seem like it. So it looks like going to be Brandon Bowie, your pole sitter today for the Long Beach Grand Prix. Thanks to DripDrops.io. So that's going to be it right there. We'll go into a quick warm-up session in just a minute. And we'll go right now and thank some sponsors before we get back down to that. Stick around, folks, for the green flag.
Fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Doggy bowl empty, Lakers pool sleeping, Rug pull, cash grab, NFTs delight, Rug pull, cash grab, idiot.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Grand Prix of Long Beach, sponsored by DripDrops.io. A couple minutes here for a warm-up real fast, and good time for them to practice their pit entry and pit exit. Always a good time for that. So good stuff here. But again, 50 laps in this race, this Grand Prix. We're going to have 2 stages. Cautions will be thrown. So lap 8 and lap 20 will be the stages. Stage finish line is in existence too. So if you're not familiar with the stage finish line, basically how that works is we'll throw out the yellow a little bit before. You'll see over here. So Nick Lights comes down that Sunset Boulevard. So right there, that stripe that you just saw, that's going to be the stage finish line and act as that. So on lap 8 and 20, when the leader crosses that line, that'll be when race control throws the yellow for the stage ends. And we do that because typically if the leader crosses the line at the normal time, like right here, if Nick were to cross the line here for the stage and race control throws the yellow, the pace car doesn't come out of the pit road for a couple of minutes, or a couple of seconds. So usually that'll mean the drivers have to go all the way back around to catch the pace car, but by the stage finish line, we can catch it early. So it saves a lap under caution, which is nice, and always a good thing. More green flag racing. So Joshua Sobel here, and looking pretty fast in that pink and black number 79 machine, looking good. Bunch of guys here today in this race. Here's Matthew Fleming on track right now. About 26, 27 drivers today in the session, which is pretty good. You know, you throw Long Beach on the schedule, and you never know how many people will show up, but something different. Obviously, we went 2 street circuits this season, Chicago Street earlier, and then now Long Beach right now. So going to be a lot of fun, something different. And it was funny because when I made the schedule for this season, I always make it pretty early. And I thought about it, and I'm like, man, like, how cool would it be to do Long Beach, just something different, you know, because I knew I wanted to do Chicago Street. And then soon after, I kind of finalized that in my head. Man, NASCAR A-Class goes to Long Beach during the NASCAR offseason, and I'm like, man, heck yeah. So we kind of got a little preview there, and yeah, definitely sold me on it. So I'm pretty pumped up for this. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. As a road course guy, you can't beat it. So, but a minute left to go and warm up right here. We're going to get down to trackside in just a second. We're going to be getting this race going, talking about the grid and what we have going on here. So good stuff all around. We'll bring in the track map for you folks tonight. So right there on the top right of your screen. So everybody in the gray will be obviously somebody on, on track. The lime green car will always be the car that we're focused on currently. Anybody in red, if you see a red one flash, that means they're off track in some form or fashion. So that usually means bad things. But we'll try and go to them once we see it. Street circuits are tough because there's not really an off course, not really an off, like grass they can go into or a sand trap or things like that. So, but if we see it, we will definitely go to it and get it going. So here we go, though. Warm up right now is over. Our amazing sponsors right there on the side of your screen. Love that. So Brandon Bowie going to be on top again as the pole sitter. There he is. Brandon Bowie, your pole sitter today for the DripDrops.io Long Beach Grand Prix. P2, Brandon 6. Looking to get his first win on the season today. Michael Johnson, also the same thing. Needs a win. Looking to get it today in Long Beach. Jared Kaler. There he is. That P4 machine. Not currently there yet. Whoops. Where'd they go? Aha! Jared Kaler, there he is, subbing in for that number 4 machine, looking to get a win today. James Thurston, another sub, subbing in for Kenyon Reel. Hey, could we get another sub to win a race? It might happen. We've had 9 different winners this season out of 10 which 10 races, which is pretty incredible. So it could happen today again. Frankie Barroso needs a win as well. Missed a couple of races these last two, but he is back now and looking to get a big win on a big circuit. Mark Whitley, P7, there he is, looking to get a win as well. A lot of guys, man, I'll tell you what, in this top 8, top 9 really, top 10 actually. Woodruff, man, could be a huge day for them to get this win. Smecker in P8, Jackson Anderson P11, Max Brady in 12th place, Dylan Bates 13th, Joseph Mealy in 14th, Nick Lights P15 right there, James Kaufman 16th, good run for him. Marshall Harris P17, looking good, that Minnesota Twins ride. Christian Angel, Thomas George, Joshua Sobel running out the top 20. Finishing off the field here, Fleming, Daryl Young, there they are, William Griffith, Joshua Sobel, Austin Salyers, Grant Salzano in the pits right now, unfortunately. Not sure if he's going to miss the race, but there he is. And then Scott Casorn rounding out the field today. Here we are. Here we come. This is the tough part. Green flag about to be out now. That flag stand has the green flag in the air, and the drip drops. Long Beach Grand Prix about to be underway. Restart goes on green. Here we go. Green flag is out. And watch out for all the madness coming down this long straightaway. Huge braking zone here. And down they come. Brandon Bowie already on the inside here. Looking good already. The fountain. Bunch of cars in the back of the field already in shambles right here. Look at this. A bunch of guys dinged up. Jackson Anderson, Villalobos maybe. Nope, he is good to go. We expect to see that a lot today, folks. Big wrecks, tight street circuit. You just never know. Brendan Bowie out front still. James Thurston out in P2. Top 5, top 10 really got out pretty well. Andrew Phipps right there as well, looking pretty sharp. No issues for this top 10. Max Brady, Christian Angel, all looking pretty strong right here. So that first lap, I'll tell you what, can get pretty dicey. Frankie Barroso. Oh no, what has happened here? Frankie got into this. Frankie into P19. Let's go back if we can. What happened to Frankie Barroso? Will we catch it? Oh, this is what we saw a second ago. Oh my word. Big issue. Let's go back a little further. So on the restart, this is a good time. Let's watch the restart. We know a big issue happened. Even 6, look at that. Frankie, oh my goodness. Just didn't get restarted. So a huge blunder on the restart for a couple of big notables here. Oh my word. Can happen that quick, folks. Crazy stuff. So Brandon Bowie right now is the leader. I'm not sure why our tower is a little funky, but Brandon Bowie is for sure the leader right now, so apologize for the issues there, but man, looking pretty strong so far. A bunch of these guys looking strong as well too. Marshall Harris off the track here a little bit. There they go. Now it corrects itself. Good stuff. Christian Angel, Thomas George, side by side right here. Mark Whitley already in the pits right here. Does he have damage or what happened? Oh my word. It is tough. It's tough to watch every driver as we go. These street circuits are no joke. Brandon Bowie still in the inside here, but James Thurston trying to make a move on the outside lane. He'll have the preferred groove on the inside here. Does he have enough? Oh, Bowie into the outside wall. No, Michael Johnson's going to get through too. It's going to slow down Bowie quite a bit. I don't think he has a lot of damage, but that'll be huge for him. Do not want damage at tracks like this. James Thurston now takes over the lead. Michael Johnson in P2 right behind as well. Again, stage 1 is short. 8 laps, and that's it. Little love tap by Michael Johnson, trying to get himself into that lead. Hearing the words, Max Brady as well, maybe got some damage. Matthew Fleming jumping to the pits. Yeah, this is going to be an absolute carnage fest. Sometimes these are the best races to call because, man, you just never know what can happen at tracks like this, right? I mean, everyone's, you know, dive bombing and everyone's doing all kinds of crazy stuff, trying to survive, and just, you know, that attrition factor is pretty big, right? You're trying to just get through this race for especially the second half of the field too, right? Anderson right now and Richard Woodruff. A lot of cars already pretty well dinged up. Devin Smirker, though, looking very, very good right now in P6. Looks like he's escaped majority of the madness. Has some left front damage a little bit, but I don't think it's really that bad. We'll ride on board real quick. Then we'll go Hosky hot lap, because right now, man, this is a hot lap. I'll tell you what, crazy stuff right here. Really, really tight corner. Gets it back going. And then off he goes. Right now in P6, kind of by himself. Nobody really in front, nobody really behind. This is a good thing. Just set up laps and qualifying laps and just get it going. Kind of on an island here, but lay down those good laps. You've got nobody behind you to worry about, nobody in front really, time-wise. Navigates through that fountain. You can really see how tight that is. It's pretty insane right there, but it's good stuff. So far, playing it safe right there for Devin Smirker. Looking really, really good. Street circuits are no joke, and I know in the chat how many people have smacked the wall. Probably most, I would say. I mean, this is one of those places that you just have to be on the ball all the time, right? I mean, you look at tracks like Road America or Watkins Glen, right? There's runoff, there's grass, there's sand, right? There's things like that. At a street course, you're surrounded by walls, and that is it. So you got to be really careful on how you navigate, you know, all kinds of things regarding your race, and that's the important part. Is just, you know, getting through it. Right now, James Thurston doing his part to just get through the race. Michael Johnson looking good as well. But like any road course, right? Practice actually pays. The more practice you put into these places, you know what the car is going to do and or not do at specific times. So, man, Michael Johnson really on the back end here of Thurston. Everyone getting through this fountain pretty well smooth so far. Jared Kaler having a good run as well. Thomas George, I believe, having some issues here, looking pretty good. Still having the issue, by the way, like last week, where it's only registering like most of the field and not all of it. So that's why I think the tower is kind of jumping around on us at certain times. So I apologize for that. Our options were changed, so I'm not sure why it's being funky, but it's all good. Mark Whirley, quick update on him. Looks like some damage there, but looks like might have gotten it fixed. Salzano, a couple of guys too. Richard Woodruff on track, or in the pits, excuse me, in Anderson and Fleming. So right now, not a great day for Flagship Motorsports so far. James Thurston looking very, very good. 6 has now moved past Brandon Bowie for 3rd spot. So we're going to try and track down the leaders here as we get down to it. Lap 7 right now, so next time by on lap 8, we will... Ooh, heard somebody big into the wall there. And you can already see how spread out this field already is. I mean, everyone. I mean, Thurston, the top 5 really, top 4 are pretty well in tune for the most part, but Christian Angel getting word he's crashed again. Frankie Barroso right behind him. And this is one of those things. Frankie, he's missed 2 races now as he gets around Angel and maybe even Scott Casoren there too. But Frankie has missed the last 2 races, and I believe right now he's 12 points above the cut line. And this is a track where we know, and he knows, he can have a really good finish. So he has to do really, really good here to wrap this thing up. Michael Johnson lost some time there, but right now coming into that last sector of the track, looking pretty good. Going to be catching Mark Whitley here, maybe, who's now on the tail end of that lap, so looking pretty good. Villalobos right here and Thomas George back to back, looking like 12th and 13th as they sit, so not too shabby. A couple of guys right here, Mealy, Bates, and Nick Lights all together. I don't see any damage on them. I know Mealy having some issues earlier on in practice, but looks like he cleaned those up. Looking pretty strong right now. Running in that top 10. Yeah, a good day as always, the top 10 at a track like this, so good stuff. Lap 8 is here, and this is when the stage will end. So in just a second here, as they come down Sunset Boulevard, at the end of this long straight, this will be the end of stage 1, just like that. So boom, there it is, and there's the yellow. Stage number 1 is out. James Thurston going to be your stage 1 winner. And man, it is getting intense just like that. 8 laps. Not a lot of time, but obviously it can go by that quick, and pace car right now will catch these leaders. And there it is. So James Thurston, Michael Johnson, Brandon Six, Brandon Bowie, Jared Kaler, your top 5. And then Phipps, Smecker, Brady, Gasorn, and Angel, your top 10. Gasorn, very impressed by Gasorn right there to be in that top 10, 9th place. That's a really good job. Front end beat up a bit, but hey, got through and made it happen. So really impressive stuff. We're going to let them catch the pace car here, obviously, and do their pit stops. I think this is going to be the interesting thing too. I don't expect, as they catch the pace car now, I don't expect them to take tires. I mean, the chances are, I mean, maybe you do, right? Maybe you do now, maybe you do at the end of stage 2. I don't know what you do, but typically with this car, the tire fall off just isn't that hardcore. It's just not that, you know, it doesn't really fall off. So I don't know that you take tires, especially if you've been kind of relaxing a bit on those tires you have now. So fuel you need for sure, but they'll have enough time and fuel to make their way through stage 2, which again will end on lap 20 once we get back going. So restarts at this at this racetrack are going to be wild. Lap number 1 of this race we saw obviously was pretty insane. So Frankie Barroso getting around. Even the leaders are having some issues getting up to speed, so that can happen. We'll bring in James Thurston in just a second once they complete their pit stops. I don't want to throw them off too bad before they go into pit road, and want to make sure they pick all their options and tires or whatever they want to do for strategy. But thanks, folks, for being here again Appreciate it. Right now, dripdrops.io, Long Beach Grand Prix. Pretty fun right now. A lot of guys coming down to pit road. Interesting. A lot of guys aren't coming down pit road. Okay. So Thurston, Brendan 6 not choosing to come down pit road. Kaler as well, not coming down pit road. Interesting call. But they know, right? They know you can go about 18 laps on fuel. And this caution right here takes up about 2 or 3 laps. So you can save all that time within that. So good stuff. Bunch of fuel only stops right here. Everyone coming off pit road, so we're going to bring in James Thurston in just a second. Making sure they all come off pit road cleanly and easily, which they do, so there he is. James Thurston going to be our Stage 1 winner. Let's bring him in. See if we can track him down real quick. Where is good old James Thurston? Is he even in the Discord? Oh, I don't think I see him. Alrighty, so James Thurston not in the Discord, it looks like, so we can't bring him in for interview. Apologize for that, folks, but if we see him later on, we'll bring him in for sure, but all good. Pretty good performance so far, though. Brandon 6 in P2 didn't pit. Jared Kaler didn't pit. A lot of these guys didn't pit here, so interesting call. It just seems like, I mean, you know, what do you do here? It looks like they took no tires, obviously, so fuel only. But, yeah. Good stuff. Let's go and thank you some sponsors real quick. It's lap 10. We're going to be going back green here about a lap from now, so we have some time here. Well, thanks some sponsors, and we'll come back, folks. Stick around.
Fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Doggy bowl empty, Vegas pool sleeping, rug pull, cash grab, NFTs delight, rug pull, cash grab, idiot.
All right, folks, welcome back right now to the dripdrops.io Long Beach Grand Prix. We are here at the intermission between stage 1 and 2. We're going to be going green here in about half a lap. James Thurston winning the first stage right here in that number 11 machine. Subbing in for Kenya Real, so looking very, very fast, though, but a couple of guys behind him looking just as fast. Who can get this stage 2? Gonna be a pretty quick one. Gonna be a tad shorter. Actually, the same distance. as stage 1. So we're going to end it on lap 20, and then we'll get it going. So good stuff right now. Big thanks, folks, for being here, supporting the channel. Man, this is going to be a banger of an end to this race. So coming across that hairpin right here, pace car going to pull in, and here we go. Back green for the dripdrops.io Grand Prix of Long Beach. We're back green. And coming down this long straightaway, another restart, another hard braking zone. Brandon 6 going to dive it down low here. Not going to be enough. Thurston gets it. A lot of the guys further on back looking pretty good. Oh no, Max Brady around in front of Dylan Bates. Going to be a huge stack up here, but they can still get through that fountain. Treacherous corner there. They all get through single file right now. Max Brady finally gets it back going on. Hard deal right there for him. But Thurston getting it out. Looking very strong out front. A couple of guys further in the back having issues. Max Brady obviously goes around. We see a couple of guys here too. Devin Smecker back in the pack. Oh man, Mark Whitley, huge hit right there. Not having a great race. Look at the toe of that left front wheel. You hate to see it. But a bunch of guys still making recovery dates, right? Frankie Barroso has that front end pretty well fixed at this point. Back end looks pretty decent too, so has just got to fight his way back up to the front. Right now, P15, it's not going to cut it. Christian Angel in that hairpin. A lot of these guys looking pretty good right now. Just have to get back to the front. Scott got someone pretty well beat up left front, excuse me, but up to a 10th spot. Oh, watch out for the tire barrier. Gets it going. That fountain, man, I'll tell you what, that place is pretty wild. Memorable corner, but it is not easy. Front 5 really looking pretty quick here. Brendan Bowie had some left side damage here. He was getting passed by Thurston, and right about here, he hit the inside wall and had some damage, but it looks like he's looking pretty good now, so don't think he'll be in trouble furthermore, which is good. Jared Kaler in P4 as well, looking pretty sharp. Doesn't look to have maybe as fast of a speed as, or a car as the front two, but definitely there. Michael Johnson, the same thing. So a bunch of guys here looking pretty strong. Joseph Mealy still hovering kind of in that top 10 region. Nick Lights, his teammate as well. Good run for these guys. These guys are right now in the top 10 of points. And these two looking really fast. So don't necessarily need a miracle race today. They can kind of float by with the top 10, but looking pretty strong for them already. Austin Salyers, man, looking like that front end not looking too great, but P19 currently as they sit. A lot of guys obviously in the back of the field too. Fleming, Woodruff, man, bad deal for Woodruff being out. Griffith. So a lot of guys struggling obviously at this pretty tight street circuit, but that can't happen. Lap 14 right now. Lap 20 will be when the stage 2 ends. We are winding it down. Couple of juggernauts obviously going at it. Thurston, we know, is pretty fast. Came in here today to sub in for Kenny Reel. Brandon 6 looking to get his first win on the season. It could come here. I'll tell you what, this is a place where he was looking forward to for a long time, and in practice looked very quick as well. So it's just a matter of picking that right strat and getting it done. Michael Johnson, 3rd place as well. Impressive everywhere we go. Jared Kaler. Dylan Bates, look at this. Dylan Bates in P6 right now, up 7 spots on the day. Car looking very clean. And man, earlier in the race, I believe in the restart, he had an issue or was involved. Oh no, right here too, missed it. Missed turn one. Slows down enough, which is great, but then has to kind of back up and then start again. Unfortunate. Will definitely lose about 3 or 4 spots right there, so not good for that 91 machine. Some contact here between Frankie and Joseph Mealy, I believe that was. A bunch of these guys really just trying to get everything they can. Pretty good stuff right here. Good battle right here as well. Top 10. We know Frankie is faster than these guys, but that car is pretty well beat up. And I'll tell you what, Nick Lights and Joseph Milley, that program that they've got going on for the road courses has definitely moved up. These guys are looking very, very good early. Getting word Thomas George may be having an issue or slowed down. Nope. Devin Smecker. It's pretty funny because our scoring tower or scoring system here, you guys can't see it, but I can. It basically alerts me if somebody wrecks or, you know, goes too slow or, you know, things like that. But what I'm finding out is that the hairpin, you know, these guys are going so super slow that it registers them as wrecking. It's pretty funny. So I have to ignore that whenever I see them, but we'll definitely try and cover the ones that are important for sure. Julio Villalobos, man, this guy right here, up 14 spots from where he started. This is a great race for him so far. That 45 racing machine, man, looking pretty good. 29 graphics on the side of that thing. Looking sharp today. Good run for Villalobos. Very impressive so far. Brandon 6 coming down pit road here. Interesting call. Okay, so what is this about? Brandon 6 coming is going to come down pit road on lap 17. So now again, we know that these guys have to pit in stage 3. So is Brandon 6 making an interesting call here, knowing he has to make that happen? So this is interesting. Uh-oh, I think he missed his pit stall by a lot. That might hurt him right there, but we'll keep that in mind, folks. Brandon 6 on a very interesting pit call. James Thurston, though, still up front in P1. Looking very fast as usual. Michael Johnson in P2. About to go onto Sunset Boulevard here in just a second. Looking very good. Jared Kaler, Brandon Bowie, top 4 or 5 really stayed the same. A couple of more guys. Here's Daryl Young here. Front end damaged pretty well, but car can definitely still move. Wicked cushions on the side of that machine. Man, I love this paint scheme. The second I saw it, I just knew it would be a banger. Everything Harpoon Design does, I'll tell you what, killer job. So good stuff right here. Daryl Young holding on to it. P15 so far, and that's really all you can do, right? Is just kind of get it done. A couple of more guys coming down pit road. This is the last time they can. Again, pit road does close. 2 laps to go before the pits, or before the stage ends. So Michael Johnson and Jared Kaler coming down pit road, and we saw Michael Johnson as one of the ones pitting earlier on the stage 1 break. So what does this mean for these guys? I'm not too sure what the strat could be here, but I like it. Tires going on for Kaler's machine. Lefts and right sides. Interesting call there. That might be a move to keep in mind. So I'm jotting down all these notes and making sure, man, what do they have in mind to get stage 3 done? Devin Smecker looking really good there. His teammate right in front. Actually, all in a row right here. Mealy, Lights, and Smecker. 7th, 8th, and 9th. Really impressive run by this Mealy team. So lap 18, we're seeing a bunch of guys come down pit road. So Brandon 6 obviously was... Oh, wait, he's down back pit road again, I think. What is this? Oh, no. Down pit road again. That is not good news, and I can promise you that's got to be unscheduled. I'm not sure what's going on there, but we will keep you informed of what is the issue. James Thurston also on pit road too. So your leaders are all coming down pit road here, and Brandon Bowie comes down as well. So the leader will be inherited by Dylan Bates, I believe, once they cycle through. Yes, it does. Dylan Bates right now going to be your P1 position. Look at this. Villalobos in P2. Thomas George in third spot. So all of our, favorites so far, the ones who have been looking very, very fast, are right now pitting. So this is a good time for these guys to steal some stage points. Dylan Bates up front. We still have one more lap to go here. Lap 20 is when the stage will come out. So about a lap to go once Dylan crosses this stage finish line here in just a second. But really good stuff. Devin Smacker P4, Brandon Bowie P5, and we just saw him come down pit road, so he definitely, in my opinion, might have the preferred line here. I'm not sure how we'll look at that, but Brandon 6 right now being shown as one lap down too, which is really not good news. So I'm not sure if he might have had a speeding penalty or some kind of pit road exit, which can definitely be a tough one here. Pit road exit here is very, very difficult. So as far as blending back onto the track. So we will see. Dylan Bates, though, right now going to be your P1. Looks like he's going to take that turn 1. There he goes. And stage 2, will end this time by. So looking strong right now. Dylan Bates has not gotten a playoff point at all this season, either for a pole or for a playoff or for a stage win, So this will be his first on the season. He put himself in a great spot to get the job done. And right now, a straightaway away from getting that stage 2 win. And there he goes. Going to cross the line right there. And the yellow flag is out. Stage 2 goes to Dylan Bates in that 91. Great stuff right there. Villalobos in P2. Smecker, third spot. Thomas George, fourth. Brandon Bowie in P5. James Thurston in sixth spot. Looking very good there. Michael Johnson, seventh place. Sobel in P8. Mealy P9 and Jared Kaler in 10th spot. Interesting call here. We're going to see a lot of these guys come down pit road in just a little bit during this stage intermission, but we'll definitely talk to Dylan Bates if he is available once they catch the pace car. So good stuff here by these guys. We're going to come back in just a few minutes, folks. We'll thank some sponsors. We'll come back and talk to your stage 2 winner, Dylan Bates.
Fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like doggy bowl empty, Lakers pool sleeping, rug pull, cash grab, NFTs delight, rug pull, cash grab, idiot.
All right, folks, welcome back right now to the Grand Prix of Long Beach, presented by DripDrops.io. In the middle of stage 2 right now and 3, everyone's coming down pit road, or at least the guys who didn't pit a second ago, right before the end of stage 2. So your stage winner, Dylan Bates, coming down pit road, obviously, and a bunch of these guys here. So Brandon Bowie actually comes down pit road again as well. Interesting call here. Michael Johnson, there he is. Has some pretty... Oh, man, that's some pretty well dinged up left front. Not sure where he got that from. We did not see that earlier on, but a lot of these guys all fixing their cars, and 4 tires and fuel, off they go. A lot of guys choosing to take the 4 tires. That does help as far as grip levels and stuff, but it all depends. Right now, James Thurston going to be your leader still as we go. Man, Brandon 6 is being shown as... on the lead lap, it looks like, but man, I'm not sure what happened to him. That's just unfortunate for him. Not sure if he had a pit road speeding issue or whatnot, but man, hate to see it. Dylan Bates, let's dial him up real quick if we can. Here he is, going to be in P5. See if we can sneak in Dylan Bates. We couldn't bring in James Thurston earlier. He wasn't available as far as in comms here, but try and see if we can find him real quick. Dylan Bates, where are you? Oh man, Dylan Bates also. Not in the Discord. It looks like for availability to talk to. So, man, not good. Let's see if we can bring in somebody. Let's bring in... Oh man, who do you bring in? Who do you bring in? You know what? I feel bad for the guy. Let's bring in Christian Angel. He's gonna love this. And quite frankly, this is content. Christian Angel. There he is, Christian Angel in the number 75 HDR machine. Hey, the stage winners, they're not available today, so we're gonna bring you in, man, for a quick interview. How's the car feel? How's the track feel? I know these things aren't your favorite, but honestly, not looking too bad right now. P8, how you feeling?
I mean, we're surviving, Steve, honestly. It's not a Sunday cruise. I'm scared every time I hit the brakes. Honestly, if it was up to me, we would never come back to another road course. But it is what it is. I'd rather just go fish on a nice little Sunday like today. But we're here, so we're just going to pray that everyone wrecks in front of us and we survive.
I love that idea, man. Hey, real quick, I mean, you know, talk about like the pit straps right now that we're seeing, right? We're seeing a lot of guys, you know, pitting right before the end of stage 2, and right now some guys pitting as well. So, I mean, like, do you think it's because they can make it through stage 3 on fuel, or, you know, what do you think it is?
Well, I mean, we all know the Bowie guys are probably the best team at saving fuel in the garage areas. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they've somehow found a way to be able to stretch it and make it on gas. They know what they're doing. They're road course experts, so whatever they're doing is probably the winning strategy in my opinion. So I really got no idea. I hope that we survive, and we'll see what happens.
All right, man. Hey, good stuff so far, dude. Good luck rest of the way.
Thank you.
There he is, Christian Angel, out of that number 75 machine. We don't talk to him a lot in the booth, but hey, we did that time, and why not, right? A lot of these guys just surviving, like he kind of put it, trying to get through it. But road courses, in my mind, are necessary, right? They are necessary to do. It's a whole different style of racing, and but it's another tool in the toolbox, right? You gotta be good at them, especially in nowadays NASCAR. So, a couple of notables too before we go back green. Smecker, Bowie, 10th and 11th. Brandon 6th being shown in 15th. So, a lot going to change here, but Gonna go back green here in just a second, as we see. Front of the field going to be Thurston and Kaler. Frankie Barroso has made his way back up to third spot, which is incredible based on how that car looked earlier in stage 1. So right now, top 5 is Thurston, Kaler, Barroso, Phipps, and Villalobos. Man, Villalobos looking exquisite today. Cannot be happy enough for him to see him in the top 5. Dylan Bates, stage winner. There he is in P6, so not too bad from what we're seeing. But we're going to get it back going here. Lap 23 out of 50. Again, we expect these guys to come down pit road at least once. Actually, they have to come down once for fuel. Or can they? Can they make it on fuel? We're going to find out. Here we go. Restarts back. The drip drops. IO. Long Beach Grand Prix. We are back green. All the way through right now. Turn 1 going to be crazy. Look at this. Huge dive down into turn 1. Can they all make it through? It so far looks like they can. Now the infamous fountain turn right here. All the way around. Good stuff right there. Smecker and Brandon 6 getting together. Oh no, Christian Angel, huge around right there. Blocks the track almost. They can all get through. But a huge mess right there. Oh no, we just talked to him too, but just couldn't get it done. You hate to see it. The pressure is too high on a track like this. Seaside away, look at this right now. James Thurston, huge lead, 1.15 seconds of a lead right here. It comes all the way down. And you can see everyone coming through the field as they are. And Brandon 6 already back on his horse in P8 right now. The field spreads out that thin quickly because it's just so hard to get around this place, right? See Dale Young right there too, not looking too bad in P12. A lot of these guys having a good run today. And that could be all thanks to just holding on to that steering wheel and not hitting the wall. And right now we're seeing that for sure. Michael Johnson pretty well beat up on the front end. Not sure when that happened. We didn't see it happen in stage 1 or 2, I don't believe. So that's kind of a mystery for me. I do apologize. We don't have that replay available, but man, good stuff. So right now, what does the pit strategy look like for these guys? We're 25 laps in right now. We're 25 laps to go. So fuel can really only go about 18 to 20 if you really save. I would imagine maybe a little more, but most of these guys have to pit. In fact, I do believe everyone has to pit. It's just a matter of when. So interesting call here. I've got a funny feeling guys like, Six or Johnson, maybe even Bates, these guys or Bowie actually in P4, these guys probably took tires right there in that stage 2 break. That way they're nice and fresh for the second half of this race, and that might give them the ability to just, be much faster. So they might have learned something that nobody else did, but so far looking very fast. Dylan Bates, your stage 2 winner, looking really good here in P6. Scott Grissorn, I will say, this is another guy, man, I am just super impressed by. You go to any oval, he's not necessarily always a top 10 car, I would say, but man, today P9 is really impressive for him, and this is what's possible, right? You don't necessarily have to be great at a road course race or a road course track when it comes to things like this, but sometimes just got to get through it, maintain your position. Joseph Mealy, I'll tell you what, look at this car. Digital downforce looking very good. Not a dent on that car. So that just tells me, you know what? Little slow, but consistent as all hell. And man, looking very good. In fact, you know what? Let's just ride on board real quick. Cockpit view. Let's take a look at the wrong one. Not the Hosky commercial, the Hosky hot lap. My bad. 25 laps to go. We're going to come down right here, Sunset Boulevard. Long straightaway here, and Mealy's looking pretty comfortable. I'm looking at that wheel, I'm looking at his throttle input. Looks pretty comfortable right here. Again, not really pushing it, it looks like. Just kind of, you know, gingerly getting through. You see Jackson Anderson right there takes the exit. Blew that corner too much, but look at this. Nice and smooth here. Takes this this hairpin, the infamous hairpin. Just looking good. Nice solid lap right here. Tell you what, Joseph Mealy, P13, but holding on to those fenders. Really, really good job. Up front, we're still seeing James Thurston as your leader right now in that number 11 Premier Setup Shop. And speaking of Premier Setups, man, I gotta tell you what, these guys just know what they're doing, man. We're sponsored by Premier, so I guess I'm probably biased by saying that, but based on what I've seen so far this season, as far as racing product and racecraft, man, really, really good. And today, just another bang of a race. So these guys know what they're doing. Go and check them out, Premier Setup Shops. You see the commercial that we play, so go and check them out for sure. And get yourself a good setup for your race. So Thurston up front, Jared Kaler right now subbing in again for that number 4 flagship machine. Looking pretty quick again. P2, not necessarily showing enough pace to maybe, you know, get to that P1 spot. But I'll tell you what, very, very consistent. Definitely has what it takes to sneak away at top 3. So looking very, very strong. Frankie Barroso, I'll tell you what, up and down day. Man, just couldn't quite get it going on that initial restart. It looks like maybe he's from the tires, I would say, but we'll try and talk to him later for sure if he gets the podium spot. But James Kaufman right behind him, pretty well beat up. Unfortunate. Brandon Bowie, though, in P4, looking good. Brandon 6 up to P5 right now. 12 seconds back, so definitely a long ways to go to catch those leaders, but right now, Brandon 6 up to the task. And Dylan Bates in P6, your stage 2 winner. Again, just consistent. And this is, I'll tell you what, this is a guy, Dylan Bates, where he can win a race. I really feel confident in that. Dylan Bates can win a race this season. And it's just a matter of when. Somebody just hit the wall hard. I just heard that. Who was that? Was that 6? I don't think I saw his front bumper that damaged a second ago. Oh, man. Yeah, it comes down pit road. Oh, no. What happens? Really beat up car right there. It might be just coming. This actually could be scheduled. But 22 laps to go, I do not know, man. That is hard to see. Smecker passing him right now. This is for P8. Another solid run today, too, for Smecker right here. Solid run in that top 10. Look at that car, though. Again, just really good-looking car. Drip drops on the hood and the side panel. Impressive run so far for the number 26, getting it done. Gasorn P9, Mealy 10th, and Joshua Sobel. Look at this. Had some damage on the front ends. Significant earlier on, but definitely looks like he fixed that as he continued this race. So good stuff as we see him. Right now, 22 laps to go. We'll get a quick update on a couple drivers who are throughout the field as we see them. So Salzano, Woodruff, Fleming, all out of the race right now, unfortunately. Austin Salyers looks like going to be in pit road, but try and get a look here. Yeah, so on pit road, but yeah, pretty well damaged up. So not going to be finishing off, it looks like. We see James Kaufman 7 laps down. Man, front end looking like a wheel modified. Unfortunate for him. Max Brady, we saw him having a huge issue earlier on. Got spun, I believe, in the fountain area of turn 2. So not good there. Brady's actually out of the race, it shows. Jackson Anderson still on track, but looks like he is 5 laps down, I believe it shows. Doing what he can. Mark Whitley had a really beat up car earlier on, and again, not what he wanted as far as race today, but in P20 was right there on the cut line as far as getting into the playoffs. So he is very close to being out or staying in. So you got to be careful here. I've got a feeling, though, these next couple of tracks are going to suit him really, really well. Auto Club is next, and then Atlanta. So we'll see if he can sneak himself in, but no stage points today, and might be a rough finish. So that could be bad news bears for Mark Whitley. We'll see. Daryl Young on track on pit road, excuse me, right here. I'm not sure if he's on here for, oh man, yeah, that left front pretty well destroyed. Tires are facing the right way though, so we like that, but I don't think he is out per se, but hard to say. Brandon Six actually out of the race right now. Just getting word that is a heartbreak for him, as man, he was extremely quick earlier on. Not good. Villalobos 1 lap down. He was up front, but some left front damage there kind of tells the story, unfortunately, of what's happened to him. B14 Thomas George, man, front end's pretty well destroyed, but 13th there. It's Christian Angel in P12, just kind of getting through the day. We saw him, now coming down pit road. On the restart here of stage 3, we saw him sideways in turn 3 or 4, but looks pretty good so far. P12 has to pit at some point. Looks like that time is now, so good stuff here. Thurston with a 3-second lead. Looking very, very good so far. Again, these guys still have to pit. Come down pit road for fuel at a minimum as this race winds down. So Thurston, man, looking to become the 10th different winner this season, which would be pretty wild, I will say. Very competitive season. Obviously, a good handful of them have been subs, right? You know, Kevin King and Kenny Brady a couple weeks back at Talladega. Thurston right here, potentially. So, hey, but that's good to see. Variety on the track and really, really good talent being shown off. So Jared Kaler in P2 as well, man, looking very, very strong. Brandon Bowie not too far back past his teammate Frankie Barroso not too long ago. And now he's up to P3, so Barroso really falling off here, 13 seconds back. So those fresh tires, I believe the Bowie has, really paying off dividends right now. 7 seconds back, but he is catching for the most part. Dylan Bates in P5, looking strong. Andrew Phipps, I will say, I haven't talked much about him today, but very, very strong effort. P6 hasn't really had a lot of incidents or issues today involved in wrecks. That left front has some damage to it, but not a whole lot. Definitely still be able to continue this race just fine. So looking pretty strong right now. 18 laps to go. DripDrops.io Grand Prix of Long Beach. Awesome stuff so far. We're going to take a quick break, folks. We're going to go race day nonstop. We'll thank some sponsors, but you won't miss a thing. Come right back.
Fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Doggy bowl empty, Lakers full sleeping. Rug pull, cash grab, NFTs delight. Rug pull, cash grab, idiot.
All right, folks, welcome back right now to the Drip Drops Grand Prix of Long Beach. Seeing a couple guys already come down pit road as we saw a second ago. Looks like it was Sobel came down pit road. Looks like for the fuel, so he is good to go, I would assume, to finish off this race. Thomas George now, a couple of more guys coming down pit road. Quick update on a few more. Marshall Harris right here holding on to 17th spot. Looking pretty decent right there. That Minnesota Twins Camry. On his way to a career best finish here in the ASRA Cup Series. Good run today for him. Jackson Anderson comes down pit road, it looks like as well. Front end damage pretty well fixed, so good stuff there. William Griffith down pit road. That Griff dozer machine looking pretty good today. In P20, unfortunately, but lots of people still doing different strats right now. But we do know one thing. A lot of these guys have to still come down pit road for fuel. So when does that happen? We've already seen a couple of guys, a couple of big names really out of this race, or at least out of the race as far as, you know, contention. Mark Whitley 4 laps down, Brandon 6 out of the race completely. So pretty rough stuff for a couple of those guys. Still, there's some hope. Thurston P1, Kaler P2. And Kaler has looked quick. He's just not necessarily fast enough, at least it looks like so far, to catch Thurston. But man, he is quick for sure. Bowie in third spot. Oh no, is that Christian Angel? Sideways. Coming out of that same spot he got turned around in earlier at the beginning of stage 3. Trying what he can. Still in P11 though, so a good, hey, a top 10 run here is a win for a lot of people. So far, good stuff. Jared Kaler in second. I believe it is a Sprecher blink. I'm not sure if that was... Oh, okay, so there he is, looking pretty good. Still P7. Thought he came down pit road for a second, but that is not the case. So as you see it, the top 8, excuse me, are on the lead lap. Joseph Mealy is right now about to be coming down onto the start-finish line. There he is. And then James Thurston, he's catching right up. So a lot of these guys got to be careful here as far as going a lap down or two. But that can't happen. Here he comes. So James Thurston, your leader, comes down pit road now for green flag. Green flag pit stops are underway for the leader. Jared Kaler going to be the leader right now. Going to lead a lap right there. So there he goes. So here's the thing. Does James Thurston take tires? Obviously, probably not, right? With 14 laps to go. But fuel, you would assume he does for sure. But how much? Fuel only stop, it looks like, for Kaufman. You would, or excuse me, Thurston, excuse me. You would see the tires lift up if not. So there he goes. Kaler, Brandon Bowie, and Frankie. Your top 3 as they sit. Dylan Bates, not too far back either. And who picked the right strat? We know there's guys who have to pit. And there's guys who they might have saved 25 laps or so, but I've got a funny feeling they didn't. Andrew Phipps down pit road. Oh, missed his pit box by a little bit. Might be good to go now. There he is. So, man, things are changing very quick as we're seeing it right now. 14 laps to go, and this is the thing that is tough, right? I mean, Long Beach, or really just road courses in general, it's not... You can practice all you want for them, right? And typically that's how you do the best, right? I mean, I can promise, you know, Kaler and Bowie and all these guys in the top 5 or so, and they practice their hearts out this week to try and do what they can for this race right now, but sometimes circumstances just change, right? Whether it be pit strategies or, you know, a wreck that you got involved in or things like that, right? That's the unfortunate thing, or pit road speeding issues, or, you know, tough to say. You know, in a case like that, you know, I'm curious to know if Brandon Six, you know, maybe he had a fuel issue, right? Maybe he wanted to put in a certain amount of fuel, but it auto-fueled him into something weird, right? There's so many variables that can happen as we see Frankie Barroso now coming off pit road. Smecker now comes down pit road as well for his green flag pit stop. Looking pretty good for a lot of these guys here. So this is going to be their last stop of the day. Again, there's no more cautions. There's no nothing. Just 13 laps, and that's it between you and the checkered flag. So a lot of these guys deciding, take that fuel and off you go. Jared Kaler, man, he has been a part of that stable of Flagship for a long, long time. I remember him, man. Oh, okay. There comes Kaler. For a second, I forgot the pit road entry was right there. I'm like, oh no, he's going into the wall, but he's okay. I'll calm down now. So Kaler comes down pit road, but I was going to say I've known Kaler, not personally, but for a bit on the Flagship side of things, and he's been involved with Matthew Fleming and all them for quite a bit. So good to see him making an appearance today for sure. So that pit stop, there he goes, fuel only, and Brandon Bowie. And here he is as well. So we know Bowie has to pit as well, but it's just a matter of when. I mean, does he have more fuel than these guys? That could be a possibility. So he'll take less at this pit stop, but it all depends. We will see. But can Bowie steal another win this season? He won back in Homestead, and got the win. Locked himself into the playoffs. Honestly, hasn't really had that great of a season so far, and he'll probably even admit it. You know, I mean, he won that one race, a couple of top 5s here and there, but overall, man, just not really having what it takes. But either way, very, very impressive so far right now. So it can happen. Marshall Harris and James Coffin, I believe. Oh no, excuse me. William Griffith fighting right here. This is for about 18th and 19th. So good stuff all around. So Brandon Bowie, we expect to come down pit road at some point. It's just a matter of when, right? Can he make it on fuel, or can he kind of sit back right now and try something? We're going to find out. Frankie Barroso still in P4. Kaler right now about 4 seconds back, so for the most part maintains that gap he had earlier on before the green flag stopped. So I'll tell you what, I mean, if Brandon Bowie, I feel like this is kind of it. If Bowie can't go the distance here, which I'm assuming he can't, then James Thurston here most likely is going to be our 10th different winner of the season. Really good stuff so far, man, by these guys. Jared Kaler, 3rd spot. Frankie. Dylan Bates, another good one with a fantastic run today. And I'll tell you what, Bates enters this race right now 13 points away from the playoff bubble to get into that top 12 for the championship. So this is going to be massive for his hopes. You know, that stage 1 win, obviously, or stage 2 win, was huge. 10 points right there. Most likely a good finish here at the end. And He's up against guys like Fleming, who had a bad race today. Whitley had a really bad race today. No stage points. No, probably going to be finishing 15th or so. So this is clutch for Dylan Bates. He'll just need kind of a decent auto club in Atlanta, and he'll be good to go here. So very, very impressive by Dylan Bates to try and sneak this way in to the end here. So here he comes, as we were talking about him. Brandon Bowie comes down pit road, and there he goes. So fuel only stop for Brandon Bowie, that Gremlins Cards machine. Looking pretty good right there. So James Thurston takes the lead back over with about a 4.5, almost a 5-second lead here up against Jared Kaler. Ooh, big wreck up in front, two of them, I think. Who is this? Scott Gasorn in trouble. Right in front. Gets on through. So James Thurston having a great run right here for that number 11 machine. Subbing in again for Kenny Reel. P2, Jared Kaler subbing in for that 4, a flagship. So, oh man, Kaufman hard into the wall there. Gotta be careful with that damage, but man, Kaler looking pretty good. Subs today is the storyline, but again, this is one of those things, and I've kind of mentioned this, I feel like at Talladega potentially, where, hey, subs coming in and either winning a race or doing their thing, that's going to happen, right? I look at a couple of guys, Bowie and Frankie Barroso, and geez, I mean, even Brandon Six, who had a terrible day today, obviously out of the race now, but things just aren't going well for him, right? So it's like, got to either find some more speed or, like Frankie had the issue on the restart with his spinning the tires, right? Brandon Six, I'm guessing had some kind of a penalty. I don't really know just yet, but really tough break for the Bowie Esport guys, but that can happen. That can happen. Mealy in P8 right now, man, look at this run for Joseph Mealy. Not a scratch on that car. And so far, 9 laps to go. Going to bring it home for a top 10 the way it looks. Really good stuff. Sobel in P9 as well. Had some front end damage earlier on, but man, what a run for him today so far too. Christian Angel right here. We talked to him on the stage 2 break. Man, through hell and high water, he has gotten through. We're going to get passed here by Andrew Phipps as he is a lap down, but still P10 right now. And this is the gap, right? I mean, right now, folks, there's 7 drivers on the lead lap, which is pretty wild. These guys really putting on the show, but this just goes to show also how fast these leaders are in comparison to the field, right? Nick Light's pretty well dinged up as we're seeing it. So far, really pretty good stuff right here. This Long Beach track, I'll tell you what, so far, Chicago Street was pretty wild. It was pretty difficult for a lot of these guys, but this track right here, definitely tighter and not as many 90-degree corners, right? So it's not going to be as forgiving or predictable, but it definitely is not easy for sure. James Thurston, though, up front. 7 laps to go, looking to get his first win in ASRA. We've seen a lot of first-time winners this season. I look back at Jackson Anderson starting it off this season. Max Brady, Kenny Brady. Man, so many drivers getting their first win. John Hagan. Really pretty cool stuff. So Thurston right now going to be 7 laps away, about 6.5 actually, from getting onto that list and becoming our 10th different winner of the season. Let's ride on board real quick Brendan Bowie as he comes down into these corners. Get a real good glimpse here of what he's kind of dealing with in this number 34 machine, Gremlins Cards. And you can see it. He's got the newer tires, it looks like. Definitely faster than a lot of these guys. A P3 on the day. I'm sure he'll be pretty happy about. I'm guessing he would have wanted the win, you know, or at least one of his teammates. But hey, a P3 on a road course is not a bad day, especially, and he'll even probably admit it, he wasn't the strongest Bowie Esport driver, you know, entering this race on this road course. He claimed he was pretty slow, but right now P3 looking pretty fast. So you can see him blazing through this front stretch, now taking turn 1. So really good stuff all the way through the fountain. This race definitely came down to attrition. We're seeing a lot of drivers multiple laps down, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 laps down, and then some. It's tough, though. It is not an easy task, and these guys just typically aren't used to it, right? But it's so integral. These races can definitely offer a lot of good points, and Griffith holding on to it right here. Right side damage a little bit, but not too bad. P18 as they sit. Daryl Young back on track. Okay, so we thought earlier he was out of the race maybe, but hits the inside wall there, but not doing too bad in P19. Obviously not going to get a lot of great points, but not too bad all the same. James Kaufman taking a quick trip through the back half of the field here. James Kaufman, 21st spot, has some left front damage off of it, but hey, I mean, I respect these guys for coming out here, obviously, and trying to do what they can to get themselves through this race. It's not easy, but they're getting it done. Five laps to go here, and Dylan Bates, your stage 2 winner, holding on to a top 5, looking pretty good. Jared Kaler might have had an issue right there because, oh, never mind. Brandon Bowie, still a couple laps. Okay, yeah, my bad. The scoring tower has been doing some funky stuff tonight. Thought for a second Bowie caught him, but that was not the case. But Kaler still trying to pass and catch James Thurston, but Thurston's got some light traffic in front of him. Right on board real quick here, you can see, oh, Griffith, contact with the leader. Gets past him. It's right on board real quick, James Thurston, as he comes across. 4 laps to go here. Really get a glimpse here of what he's dealing with in this car. I mean, obviously, really smooth in entering turn 1. And this fountain right here stays in that first gear. Right now, catching all of these leaders, or these back half of the pack. So pretty fast stuff right here. Big traffic though in front of him though. This will definitely slow him down. I'm not sure that it'll be enough for Kaler to catch up, but it could be. All it takes is one spin out or one mistake. Good stuff right now. Jackson Anderson right now in front of him. Pushing it through. Anderson right now showing as 16th. Multiple laps down right here. 5 laps down actually. So trying what they can to keep it going. But there we are. 3 laps to go now in the dripdrops.io Grand Prix of Long Beach. Oh, who was that? Is that Marshall Harris around? Still around here in the fountain, or almost by the fountain. Has to wait. And this right here could be a mess. Has to be careful here to watch out for the guys behind him. Gets it moving. Good stuff there by the 21. Keeps himself from getting wrecked right there. Awesome stuff. Top 3 hasn't really changed. Again, Thurston, Kaler, Bowie. Frankie Barroso, man, after just a treacherous stage 1. Top 4 is a great run for him, if he can hold on to it. P5, Dylan Bates. Really, really good stuff here. And I mentioned it earlier, but man, he really needed this, right? I mean, to go from that contender championship battle, potentially, to now, with this performance here today, now he's knocking on, or not really even knocking on the door, he's in that championship 12. But still has to have a decent auto club next week, and then Atlanta to finish off the regular season, to lock himself into that top 12 for the championship. But he's definitely in that conversation. Joseph Mealy, another great performance today. I'll tell you what, this might be my driver of the day. Just looking so good. Mealy, not, has not always looked great on these road courses, but you can tell he's put the time in. P8. Car is flawless right now. No damage, it looks like, at least from our angle. And, man, just super, super good stuff from that number 6 digital downforce machine. Brandon Bowie still trying to track down Jared Kaler here. He's 11 seconds back from the leader, but about 6 seconds back from Kaler, so not going to probably get to him, it would appear. But either way, a really good performance by that 34 machine. Bunch of guys here too. Michael Johnson, again, another, man, I'm not sure what happened to that front end there. Either way, good run for him. Really, really consistent by Michael Johnson. But here we go. James Thurston going to come around and take the white flag. There it is. The white flag sponsored by Cardano. Huge thanks to Cardano for being our white flag sponsor, as well as sponsor in general, man. But James Thurston came into this race not even 3 hours before the session started. Kenny Reel needed a sub. James Thurston was that man to do the job. And he's run a pretty clean race, I will say. Very clean. Very good race. A couple of fast drivers obviously had issues in the race, so that's unfortunate obviously for them. But man, Thurston has come in, didn't get the pole, started I believe 4th, and just has hit his marks. Has some left side damage there a little bit. I think that came from when he had contact with William Griffith, passing him by the short chute, the little hairpin. But James Thurston, man, comes in, another sub, another new winner. A couple of laps, a couple of turns to go, and here he is. James Thurston comes across the hairpin and will become the 10th different winner in the ASRE Harpoon Design Cup Series. As it comes across the line, checkered flag is out for James Thurston, the winner of today's Drip Drops Long Beach Grand Prix. Incredible run here by James Thurston to get his first W of the season. Impressive work by that number 11 machine right there. Premier setup shop on the side. Looking very, very good. Top 5, Jared Kaler, man, what a great performance as well. In P2, Brandon Bowie in P3. Frankie Barroso, 4th place after an up and down day. And then P5, Dylan Bates. Very, very good job for him. Awesome job right here, but James Thurston is the man We're going to bring him in here in just a second. We'll let him do his burnouts or celebrate. We'll come right back, folks. Thank our sponsors. Then we'll talk to your top 3. All right, folks, welcome back to the end of the DripDrops.io Long Beach Grand Prix here for the ASRA Harpoon Design Cup Series. Your top 3 we're going to talk to in just a second. James Thurston is your winner. Brandon Bowie, we're going to start off first. So let's bring him in here if we can real fast. Brandon Bowie, here we go. Here he is, the man of the 23 machine here. Gremlin's Cards machine, looking very good, man. Hey, top 3 today. I know it's not the one that you wanted, but man, looking very, very fast. How'd it go for you today, the race?
Man. Where do I begin? Started on the pole, which was the first pole of the season, I believe. So I was kind of ecstatic about that. I had speed, and that was different than I'm used to. So, that was cool. And then led the first handful of laps, and just from the start, just felt really uncomfortable. I don't know what changed from qualifying to the race, but I decided to kind of take a back seat, kind of let those guys go ahead, get in front, do y'all thing. And then from there, of course, stage cautions that worked out for us, except for the one where I was gonna probably make up, maybe finish third, I believe, in that stage, either second or third in that stage. And right when you leave out of pit road, basically there was a big pile up there, and I had to stop. And then the guys that were already at speed could not stop in time, so had that incident happen. So that unfortunately forced me to have to pit, fix all the damage, start from the back. I worked my way back up, which was I was pretty surprised I was able to do it, but I could definitely tell like I didn't have the raw speed that I had at the beginning of the race. So we finished top 3. I'll take that, man. I don't know the last time I actually had a top 5 or the last time I've actually been interviewed by you, so I'll take it.
Yeah, not too bad, man. Pretty good stuff right there. Obviously, the beginning of the restart looked pretty interesting. I saw you and I think 6, and then Frankie also had a really bad restart on the initial start of the race. So, I mean, was it just slick, or like what was going on there?
Yeah, I think for me in 6, it was just really just trying to gain grip. Like I don't know if technically there is no restart box.
Right.
So, it's basically based on, when the flag goes green, and kind of didn't know. So you're kind of like, hesitant on when to really get on it and when not to get on it. I spun the tires, I got off. I think 6 got on it, spun the tires as well, and it got way off, which allowed me to go. But then James had such a run that I literally just had to stay by the wall, because if not, then he would have just passed all of us and kept going. So
right.
I at least wanted to try and give myself a shot staying up front. But like I said, I in order to not wreck myself or wreck anybody else, I kind of just pulled over and was like, okay, you can have it. Yeah, obviously you're faster than me. Let me try and see if I can maybe find some more speed or something. But yeah, the restarts were pretty hectic. You're loose because when you restart, you're literally getting on the throttle and you're shifting literally in the middle of a corner at full speed. So what it's doing is basically it's just ever so slightly it's lighting up the tires, and then it's causing you to kind of like the rear end wants to be squiggly. So restarts were pretty, like I said, pretty interesting. But you know, as long as you kind of knew what you were doing, you were pretty good. Frankie, unfortunately, from what I understand, his did not go into gear, so that kind of jammed up the restart there. But for the most part, I think, you know, that was a pretty clean race. I was very surprised. You know, a couple, you know, pile-ups or whatever from what I can understand, including the one I was kind of part of. But for the most part, I thought the race ran pretty good.
Yes, sir, it was. Good stuff, man. Hey, give us a quick shout-out to your sponsors or friends and family, man. We're 2 races now away from the playoffs, and you're obviously locked into that, so looking good, man.
Yeah, yeah. If I can, I just got to keep it together. I have not been the best lately, so hopefully this is just kind of like the start of getting ready for the playoffs and my mental state, and just trying to just top 10 on the death. So we'll see. But yeah, gotta get a shout out to Boosted, Circle B Diecast, Battle Beaver. Gotta give a shout out to Gremlin Cards. You can check them out at tinyurl.com/Gremlins Cards. Use promo code Bowie Esports 20 for 20% off. And if you can, this is October for breast cancer awareness. If you can, please donate at nationalbreastcancer.org. I gotta give a shout out to my team, Bowie Esports, for putting in as much time as we did this week. This week was gonna be difficult, but you know, looking at the standings and where we finished overall, I think a good point stay for the team as well. Of course, gotta thank the league. Gotta put you for doing everything behind the scenes. And congratulations to James. He was a sub and came out there and did what he needed to do.
Yes, sir, man. We'll catch you next week in Auto Club. Good stuff, dude.
All right. Catch you later.
All right, there he is, Brandon Bowie in P3. We're going to bring in Jared Kaler now in P2. Man, what a great job today. Again, for him, we'll bring in him in just a second. Oh, here he is right here. Here's the man, Jared Kaler, today, subbing in for that number 4 machine. Second race with us so far this season, and man, looks really, really good. Last week at Indy, obviously, is your, you know, kind of debut, and then today, man, P2 didn't really have the pace it looked like to get that win, but you were there the entire time, and just a really impressive effort, man. How'd you do it?
I mean, really just keeping it out of the wall at this track. It's a lot of fun. It's my personal home track, so I love it a lot.
Nice.
But it's really just keeping it out of the wall and keeping it out of trouble. And I think, you know, I knew coming into it, if I could just run a consistently clean race and not make any mistakes on my behalf, which obviously is pretty hard given the track, but just kind of keeping it clean and not making any mistakes, I knew I'd have a good shot at the podium.
Yeah, man, looks really, really good. Obviously, very impressed by just the effort so far in the last 2 races, how good you've done. So hopefully we see you again soon. I don't know if you're back for Auto Club or whatnot, but man, looking really good out there. Real quick, give us your shout out for any, I don't know, sponsors or friends and family you got out there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I got to thank Flagship and Matthew for giving me this opportunity for these couple races, and then, you know, obviously Oasis Sim Racing as well. Flem Dogs Auto Repair, San Antonio Karting Complex, Wheels America, Texas OEM Wheels, Southern Design Solutions, and, you know, Harpoon Design for making that pretty sick Oasis paint scheme. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and don't know how many more races I'm going to do, but whichever ones I do end up doing, I'm looking forward to them.
Hey, yes, sir, man. Good stuff today, dude. We'll catch you next time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, good stuff there for Jared Kaler, man. Bringing home a P2. Awesome stuff. But the winner today, James Thurston. We're going to bring him in real quick. And here is the man of the hour, the winner of today's Drip Drops Long Beach Grand Prix, James Thurston. Subbing in for Kenny Reel in the number 11 Premier Setup Shop machine. Man, you made it look easy today. The P1 didn't quite start P1. You started 4th, I believe it was, but you just kind of had it. From the drop of the green flag, you're just really, really fast, consistent. Not a scratch on that thing, I don't think, until maybe towards the end. But, man, good stuff, dude. How'd you do it?
Yeah, I subbed for Kenny Reel tonight. He just messaged me, and, you know, he was like, you know, I can't run this race. Can you just drive the car for me? And I was like, Yeah, I'm free tonight. Sounds like fun. Long Beach with the next gen. Yeah, I think I could have probably qualified on pole, but on the lap I had going right before it finished, I was going to set a really fast lap, and I just cooked it into one of those corners and popped the wall.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we started 5th, passed like 4 cars off the rip, and then eventually got by Bowie. And kind of after that, I controlled my race, and they made a lot of pit stops, and I wasn't really sure why, because you just didn't need to do it. And
Right.
I stayed out. I think I only pit twice this race, maybe like once or twice. I was 2 or 3 times, so it wasn't that many times though. First time I slid the stall. Second time was perfect. But yeah, just happy to come race in this league. Thanks to you guys for having me, and thanks for putting the race on.
Yes, sir, man. Really impressive stuff. Hopefully we see you again pretty soon, man. Looking really good out there. Real quick, any shout outs or friends and family you want to shout out, man?
Yeah, just shout out to Kenny Reel for putting me in the ride tonight. Thanks to Power Smash Infinity Speed Motorsports. It's not on the car tonight, but that's my team that I normally race under.
Nice.
JFR. I'm also part of that team. And yeah, just yeah, also thanks to Iora League. They make this thing go fast, and all the other people back at the shop. They put a real nice piece together tonight. Just thanks to them, and glad we could go out there and lead all the laps.
Love that, dude. 10th different winner out of 11 races so far this season, man. Awesome stuff. Hey, go and celebrate, dude. Hopefully we see you again soon, man.
Thank you.
There he is, James Thurston, man. Wow, what a good performance today. Just fast. I mean, like, what else do you say? Really, really quick. Jared Kaler, Brandon Bowie. Some of the usual suspects today were very fast, as usual, but man, sometimes you get a guy that sneaks in here and just does a great job, and he was that guy today. So, very good stuff from James Thurston. Whoops, didn't mean to click that. Didn't mean to click that. We're good. But that's it, folks. That is the race today. Huge shout out to all of our sponsors, obviously. Harpoon Design, Premier Setups, man, Hosky, Cardano, Drip Drops today for coming on board as always. There's the order right there that you're looking at, man. Long Beach, what a fun race today. We knew it would be interesting when it went on the schedule, but definitely didn't think we'd get 10 different winners on the season out of 11 races. Unreal. Today was also the first race of the Same State Showdown. You'll remember that from earlier on when we did Chicagoland and Chicago Street. So today we'll tally up all the points, and we'll show you guys that next week at Auto Club. So Auto Club next week, next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll catch you then. But for now, this is Race Day. My name is Steve. Have a good night, folks. We love you.